What's up, everyone? I am Jamie with Three Little Goats Homestead, and it is an early morning. We are getting ready to go on a road trip. We didn't plan on going on a road trip, but it is what it is. So we've got to get all the animals fed so we can get on the road, because we've got to be in Missouri in about 2 hours. So let's get the morning started.
Easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand.
Oh, it is very warm. So we got home and we didn't really get to film a whole lot because we got home and then our friends actually dropped off their tractor, which is over there, because we're going to start haying this week as long as the weather holds out. So they were here, we hung out with them for a little while. But so far, everybody is settling in nicely, and I'll tell you a little bit how we ended up with this cow. Alright, so a few weeks ago, if you've been watching, we got little Debbie. She is a heifer that is pregnant with her first calf, and she is supposed to calf pretty much at any time now. So we had planned on just having Susan, Red, and Deb for milking. And I was going to get a fourth cow, that way I could plan it out that every 4 months a different cow could have a break for calving, and I would always have 3 cows at all times in milk, which would be the ideal situation. Well, although Deb is very much pregnant, she hasn't calved yet. And with the summer months, Susan's a little bit older, so her production has dropped a little bit, which is to be expected. We have been in the 100 plus temps the last few days, and her production dropped a little bit. It's coming back up now that it's cooled down to, 88 degrees. But still, we needed another cow for milking so I could keep up with my current milk customers that come every week. So we went to Missouri to a farm to look at a Jersey cow. The cow that we went to go look at is not the cow that we came home with, because I found that as I get more and more into Jerseys, I have become more and more picky about what I want, especially when it comes to milking. So even though I had talked to the owner over email, over text messages many times about the cow that we went to look at, when we got there, I knew she wasn't going to work for our farm. I knew she had small teats. I can deal with small teats. I milk goats. I started with goats, so small teats didn't really bother me, but her teats were really small. I mean, I have goats with bigger teats, and her back udders were kind of angled inward, so they would rub on the actual udder. So for us, that was a no-go. I can deal with small teats, but I can't deal with small teats that are kind of crossed. Even when she is full of milk, they would still kind of cross and touch, which makes it harder to milk, and it also makes them more susceptible to things like mastitis. And her ankle was swollen, so that was an immediate no for us. Even though we had drove many hours to go and get this cow, we had to say no, which is really hard when you've driven so far. So that was really a really hard decision, but you have to learn to be really picky about what you want. But while we were up that way, I just happened to look and seen that there was another cow for sale. So we went and looked at that one, and she had nice long teats. She doesn't have quite the production as the other cow that we were looking for, but she met all of my other requirements, and she is gorgeous. So we ended up coming home with Sassy today. Now Sassy is a Jersey. She is almost 3 years old. She is due to calf in January, which isn't ideal because Susan is due in December, but we'll be able to kind of work with it, and then next year we'll be able to really put in our breeding plan as far as spacing everybody out.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Alright, so, well, Deb is over here eating her evening snack. I just want to go over what we look for and what you should look for when you are deciding to buy a dairy cow. So the first thing we ask before we even leave to go and look at an animal is if they have been tested for things like BVD, BVL, and Jones. We also ask about their milk production. We ask how they are milked, if they are in milk at the time, whether it be hand or machine milk, which is very important. If you don't have a milker and you plan on hand milking, if they're used to only machine milking, that can make a very big difference on how well your first milking is going to go. We also ask how many times a day the cows get milked. We personally only milk once a day for our cows. We milk our cows in the evening and we milk our goats in the morning. It just makes it easier for us. So preferably I'd like to get animals that are already used to once a day milking. So most of the farms that we do get animals from, they are on once a day. Now if they are on twice a day milking and you only want to milk once a day, you just have to take into consideration you can't just stop and go to once a day. You have to transition that animal to that milking schedule. Now if all of our criteria as far as that goes has been met, we head out to the farm, and then that is where the real work comes. Hi Red, no, it's not your turn yet. So when we go to the farm, we want to be able to walk up to that cow and test her teats to make sure that they are actually working. If you want a milk cow, you want to make sure that, she produces milk. We are also looking for any type of injuries, if their legs are swollen, if they have cuts or abrasions, anything like that that could potentially cause an issue. So we look the cows over really, really well before we ever consider taking them home as well. Then, of course, their temperament. If I'm told that this cow that I am looking at is halter broke, I want to be able to put a halter on it and walk it around before it leaves the farm. I want to make sure it is actually halter broke. If it's not halter broke, I want to still be able to walk up to that animal and be able to lead it without a halter. That way it is still manageable, because these cows are big and I'm not a young chicken anymore, so I would really like to be able to have cows that are easily movable and manageable. I don't want to have to go chasing a cow through the pasture to get it over to the milk stand. And then finally, I'm sure I've missed a whole bunch. I will link a blog post down below with all the questions. But finally, you want to ask how that cow is milked as far as where they are milked. Are they milked out in the field? Are they milked in a little stanchion like we have? Are they just tied to a post? Or are they being milked in a big parlor with other cows? That can play a big role on how easy it is for that cow to transition to the way you plan on milking. Alright, y'all. So I think that we are going to wrap this video up. It is getting late. The cows are a little moody right now, and we've got to get them moved over to this front pasture and get some water over here so we can start working on haying the bigger pastures. Hopefully tomorrow. I heard some thunder off in the distance, but I'm hoping the rain will hold out long enough for us to get the haying done. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos every single week, and if you have any specific questions that I have probably missed, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll also link a blog post down below that has all these questions plus probably a few more. So check that out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Susan!